Hey everyone, this is Richard, CEO of Altfins. In this trading video, I will review Maker, MKR, and do a technical analysis of it. It's had a great run in the last week or so, and I want to take a look at what's ahead and perhaps what levels it has to break to reach $4,000, and or at what level would I be entering a trade as well. So let's go ahead and look up Maker on our screener. Here we go. If you're not familiar with Maker, you should be. It's the largest lending protocol on Ethereum network. So users can deposit their assets, for example, Ethereum, and borrow money against it, and perhaps buy other assets or do other things with it. So if a user has Ethereum or other assets, they can borrow against those assets on this platform, on this project. In terms of the description, you can look up the description on the description tab here. You know, if you want to familiarize yourself in greater detail, there's also news aggregation here, and then the technical analysis here. Oh, by the way, also on-chain data. If you're interested in what revenues does this project generate and what are the trends in revenues, obviously been, you know, in the last 180 days or a full year, the revenues have, you know, dramatically increased, which is obviously positive from a fundamental standpoint. I always like situations when I'm trading assets that actually have some fundamentals, which is not always the case with meme assets as well. In any case, let's take a look at the chart. And in terms of the performance, right, let's take a look at the performance here in the last week. It's up 23%. In the last month, about 16%, 40% in the last 6 months or so. But, you know, if we look at the chart here, obviously we can see that, you know, it's in just the last 10 days or so, it's had a big move from just above 2,000 or so to 3,000. So that's a 50% move. Clearly, there's going to be some profit taking after a 50% gain, right? Now, as you can see from the trend rating that we have up here, it's in an uptrend on the short-term basis and medium-term basis, but still in a downtrend on a long-term basis. Now, I pay attention mostly to the medium-term trend, and it is up. And as you can see, the price has broken back above the 200-day moving average, and that's a big signal or a sign of an uptrend. So obviously, I'd like to see the price maintain that level. Now, if I zoom in a bit on the 3 months picture here, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at our technical analysis chart that we maintain here. And when I blow this up, you can see that, you know, the price broke through the 200-day moving average right here. On top of that, it broke through the $2,500 horizontal resistance area. So, and on top of that, it broke out of the falling wedge. So that's, you know, that's always a nice situation where sort of three resistance areas coincide, and they're broken, right? And that clearly indicates that buyers have soaked up all the supply from sellers around these levels, and they can push the price higher because there's demand. Now, as the price approached our target of about 3,000 or 3,200, you know, it was getting overbought. And you can see that on the RSI indicator right here. The RSI reached 70. You know, anytime an asset RSI, relative strength index, reaches 70 or higher, it's considered overbought, and typically it's near its local peak. In other words, it's likely to pull back some. And that's exactly what happened here. You know, it reached 70, it got close to that resistance zone. In fact, our trade, so we were in the trade and alerted our members when this breakout happened from the falling wedge. So we made about 20% on it, or our members made 20% on this trade. But as it got close to this resistance zone and got overbought, we changed our rating to overbought at resistance. And indeed, we're looking at and seeing some pullback here. Again, it got overbought on the RSI indicator basis, and it approached resistance. Anytime that happens, those two things happen, you should be aware and you should be on your toes. As you can see, this is a resistance zone where the price got rejected back in early June, also back in May or April, right? So this is a stiff resistance zone. For whatever reason, this is where traders tend to take profits. So what's next? Well, I think that we're going to see the momentum roll over and traders take some profits. I like to be buying it at that. Well, let's get back to technical analysis here. I like to be buying it back here again. I'm hoping the price pulls back all the way to about $2,500, because that resistance zone, now that it's been broken, it becomes a support zone. That's a concept known as polarity. We explain it in our education course, I think in lesson 2 or 3. I recommend that you watch those lessons. They're available to free users as well, and they can help you learn how to do your own technical analysis and how to trade, and also follow 7 or learn 7 trading strategies for any type of market. But in any case, as I said, when resistance zone is broken, it becomes support. So if the price comes back here to that 2,500 or maybe slightly above that, I would be all over it. I would be a buyer here. That would be a pullback in uptrend in my book. And that could be another swing trade entry with a 20% potential upside back to 3,000. Now, what could happen is that we'll have a shallow pullback, maybe not quite back to that $2,500 level where I would like to buy it. We'll have a shallow pullback and then break through this resistance zone. In that case, I would be a buyer again on that breakout. So there's 2 situations. Either it pulls back to that support of $2,500, or it breaks through this resistance zone once and for all and heads back to 4,000. I think that's an all-time high. Let's take a look. Maybe not. What is the all-time high for Maker? All-time high price. Oh no, it's okay. It's higher than that. It's 6,300. That was back in May of 2021. The DeFi summer. All right. Well, we're still 55% away from that. So potentially a fair amount of upside to get back to that all-time high. But in any case, in the near term, if it does break through that $3,200 level, then we're likely to see it march higher to 4,000 next. Typically, the next resistance zone becomes your price target. All right, everyone, I hope this has been helpful. Keep in mind that this video was for informational purposes only, not meant to be financial advice, and please do your own research. If you have any feedback, please email us at invest@altfins.com. Good luck trading.